Perfect. All right, let's go, team. Welcome to this episode of my podcast. Today, we're going to talk about alignment and magnetic marketing. And like I was just saying, I wanted to record this quickly. I just got done with a group coaching call and my mastermind call. And y'all, look, I burnt my chair. I burnt my chair with Palo Santo the first day I got it. So this is usually up here. All right. So, I wanted to lean back for a little bit and talk about the three things that we learned. I just taught this program. It's called Magnetic Marketing Lab, and we've been in there for about 2 weeks. It's literally a 17-day challenge. It's $77. If you want to grab it in the replay, you can see that in the comments of this video. But I wanted to really like sit back and assess what we've learned in the past 17 days together. And for those of you who weren't Gotta make sure my audio is actually working because I recorded a whole podcast without audio once. It was devastating. Devastating. So even though it's not perfect, we'll just make sure that the audio is going. Can we hear audio? Yes, perfect. Okay. Where was I? Oh, what have we learned for the past 2 weeks in this magnetic marketing challenge? Now, if you weren't in it, no worries. Like you're not missing out on anything because the lesson that I'll teach you today, like the three lessons that I'm going to drop into, I think you just hearing the lessons will activate you into some momentum, into some progress. So, the reason why I did this challenge was because I personally was feeling stagnant with my marketing. I think there was the good old days, right? Like the good old days when I first started my first business, the good old days in 2016. You could go live, you'd have like 30 or 40 people on your live engaging, commenting, like it was the heyday. And now it takes a lot of tenacity, I would say, and dedication to show up every day when you don't really feel like you're getting the engagement. Like today, as I'm on here live, I can see there's nobody on here. The reason why this is so important for me to call out is because I think in the beginning of my business, like had this happened to me, I would have just been like, nobody's here. I guess I'm just going to go, whatever. And this is actually what I see now for my clients who are just starting businesses. They're in their first few years of business in 2025. I see it as like I got to start my business in the heyday of like where engagement was a real thing and like that was fun and people were commenting. And now I can really understand where my clients are coming from, where they're like, yeah, nobody's seeing my stuff, nobody's commenting, right? Now, what I'll say is part of this is fact. Like factually, people are acting different online, right? You notice how many times do you just scroll past something without liking it, without commenting, without engaging? Like we just like scroll by, right? We don't say anything. We don't really do anything. And what I notice is really interesting is a lot of times on Instagram, I will scroll and I'm in this little like meme chat with a few friends and I will share reels to that chat, but I won't like it and I won't comment beneath it, right? Like I'll just share it real quick and then keep it moving. So it is interesting how actually the way that we act online is different. So what that means is your mindset for your marketing really must be solid for you to go out there, quote unquote, and talk to nobody, quote unquote. And I say nobody to say, I like to look at myself in the way I engage with people. I love long form content. I listen to 3 hour podcasts literally every day. Now, a lot of my clients will say, like, I need something short, I need something quick. I get that. But for me, I want to listen to something for 3 hours because, like, I'm going to work out, I'm going to go on a walk, I'm going to clean my house. I don't want to have to, like, change the episode. I don't want to have to, like, click back onto my phone to get it to play the next thing. I'm a part of a couple of group programs where, like, the training calls are short. They're like 7 to 12 minutes. And I'm so annoyed by that. I'm like, just give me an hour long call. I want to listen to the whole thing. So, this is my caveat, the way that I like to learn. I like to be fully immersed. I like long form content, which is why I still am committed to going live. I'm still committed to having a podcast and a YouTube channel because that's the way I like to consume content. I feel like a lot of the people I watch on YouTube, I've been watching them for years, like 7 years. Like we're in a relationship together, right? So that is why I choose to go live. That's why I want to make my caveat. I don't want you to hear this. I was like, you have to go live. But these are the three things that I think we're learning in this mastermind. Like or I'm saying mastermind because I have multiple programs going on together. The marketing lab is the thing that we've been doing for 2 weeks that's leading into the next opening of my mastermind. And I'm going to start telling you about my mastermind over these next few days, over these next few weeks. So if you're interested, that's something you can hop in on. But the three things I think are really important that I'm noticing that my students are engaging with is the first thing is visibility beats perfection anytime. So, what we've been doing for these 17 days is I challenged my students to make 25 pieces of content in 17 days, right? So, that might be like double of what they're currently creating. For some of them, that might be like triple. And in fact, I just introduced something called the 7 day TikTok Trash Challenge, where I challenged them to create 4 pieces of content each day for 7 days, right? And it's really interesting to see what's happening with those students. I'm actually doing the math right now. So 7 times 4. I did not memorize my times table. So that's 28 pieces of content in 7 days, right? What I notice with some students is they're just like throwing stuff out there and they're like getting engagement and it's working. Like they're getting comments, they're getting likes. And what we're doing in this challenge is we're engaging with each other, right? So it is really fun. And what I'm also noticing is even after only like 6 days, some of the students are falling off. They're like not able to do it. Like they're not able to keep up with the volume of the visibility. And I think this is really interesting. I start to think about why. So the first thing is obviously like perfectionism. Perfectionism is the thought that you need to get it right. You need to have the right hook. You need to have the right caption, the right hashtags. You need to get your messaging correct. And what's so interesting is my very first business coach, the person I first masterminded with over 10 years ago, I remember seeing her speak on stage, and this is why I hired her. I was just like, I want to work with you. She talked about this concept of ready, fire, aim, aim, aim. And it was basically like, just go, just do it. Like the way that you're going to learn is by implementing. And what we just talked about on our coaching call inside the lab was one of my students said, I realized I was talking to like budget shoppers. I was talking to people who are just out for a deal and they don't really necessarily want my services. And so the only way that she was able to see that was the fact that she was posting enough to watch and witness herself and how she was engaging, how she was talking, how she was posting. Welcome, Soul Centered Art. Good to see you. So I think that's interesting is like a lot of the lessons in our marketing and in our business are not going to be learned until we actually start taking action. And so getting out there, being visible, just starting to share what you do, right? Share what you sell, share what you have to offer. And doing that over and over again is the thing that's going to help you get more clarity and it's going to help you get more confidence in sharing what you do. So I think that's like the number one takeaway from this challenge so far. The other thing, like if we just think about visibility, it's really actually easy. So if you're like coming here, because like, yeah, I need help with my marketing, it's really easy. You're sharing, like, what is marketing? It's letting people know what you do, but you do this by sharing stories. You can do it by inviting people like into maybe it's a workshop you're teaching or inviting them onto your email list. It's also just teaching them what you know, like giving them like one quick tip a day, showing up in your stories, showing up on your feed. Remember, imperfectly. What's working now, and it's interesting to talk about this as a strategy, but don't be a robot, right? Like, don't let AI make your videos and write your copy. I really think, and listen, I'm like diehard when it comes to being human. Like I'm a late adopter of all technology. So you're going to see me in these streets being human while everybody else is like literally trying to scale their business with AI. And I just won't be swayed by it. Like, of course, I'm going to use it to do things that help me in my business. But AI cannot be a human. Like it can't take over my job. My job in my business, I'm a life and business coach. I'm also an intuitive healer, Reiki practitioner. My job is to market and sell. I can't give that job to a robot. You know why? Because people are buying a service from Camy Kennedy, me, the human. So, like, you cannot outsource your sales and marketing. I'm sorry to say that. And I think what's going to happen is we might see maybe some people, you know how it is, right? Like, maybe some people will be able to kind of like use AI to maybe like get a head start or maybe like sell some quick programs, but I don't see it as sustainable. Like, I don't see people giving somebody who's selling with AI. I don't see them giving multiple thousands of dollars. I don't see them working with them over years. Now, have I bought little programs from people because I'm curious? $27 things for sure. Yeah. Hi, Makeovers by Brandy. Good to see you. But I really want you to think about like you being visible as a human is more valuable now than ever. And I think what's happening in people's mindsets right now, and this is like the second thing I'm teaching behind the scenes, is like, of course, we just want to get out there and take action, but behind the scenes, we have to have a very strong mindset and resilience. We have to have a very strong purpose. Why do I have this business? Why do I want to keep doing it? Why do I want to keep doing it even if it feels hard? Like even when the economy's down, even when there's things going on in the world, even when like maybe people don't have as much money disposably to spend. Like why do I keep wanting to show up and sell, right? Like for a lot of my clients, that's what I'm bringing them back to is like there is a deeper purpose in why you have your business. Now, of course, you want to make money, you want to have freedom, obviously. But the sales and marketing, when times are tough, you have to get tougher. Not like in a hustly way, but like in a heart-centered way, where you get more stubborn and purposeful and driven in what your mission is. Okay. So that's the first thing we learned from this challenge is visibility meets perfection. And behind that is always mindset, right? That's what perfectionism is. It's a mindset. And then the other thing that we've done in that program is, and if you want it, again, go grab it. I reviewed everybody's human design. So there's 5 types of human design. I'm not going to go over them here. You can go back to my feed to see the rest of it. Hi, Stephanie. You can go to my Instagram feed. You can see all of like the human design personality traits that I gave people and how it shapes their marketing. But I think what's really important, and if you don't know your human design, you can go get it. Go to jovianarchive.com. You can pull it. But you're essentially either a generator, a manifester, a manifesting generator, a reflector, or a projector. Those 5 types. And once we pulled everybody's chart and I taught them like the basics of their chart and how they're meant to like move in the world, their marketing suddenly became easier for them. So what was really helpful for my students to learn was that some people are magnetizing through different things, right? Some people are magnetizing through teaching, like through workshops. Some are magnetizing through connection, like one-on-one connection and conversation. Some are magnetizing through like really bold, like loud leadership, like out there. And then some are actually more quiet, where they just offer reflection and insight. So you don't have to market in one way. And when you let yourself align to your human design, I find it to be really helpful. So once my clients are doing that, they're again taking more action because it doesn't feel as hard. Now, the third thing is, y'all, I've been coaching all day and I have allergies, so my throat is sore. So we'll see if we can wrap this up soon. Sorry about that. A scratchy voice. Okay, the third thing is that marketing is a skill that you can master. Okay. And if you have a business, excuse me, if you have a business, you have to fall in love with marketing. Period. You're either going to outsource and pay money for somebody to do it for you, which will cost you revenue, it'll cost you profit, right? Or you lean in and realize that you're the number one marketer in your business, you're the number one salesperson in your business, and you're the person who delivers the service, right? So remember, what is marketing? It's providing value. It's providing value, and value is comes from an invitation. Letting people know how to work with you, teaching people something, and just being a good human being all around, right? For some of you, you think being a good human being is like not selling and not marketing. And I always say, if you had the cure, right? Like if your service, right? If you're an energy healer, if you're a coach, if you have a service that helps entrepreneurs, like you're an assistant or you do like art therapy, whatever it is. If you have the cure for something and you're not sharing it, I think that's actually selfish. And I'm saying this because I say it to myself all the time. Because sometimes I'm lazy. I don't want to do things. Sometimes I'd rather not market. Sometimes I'd rather not show up. Sometimes I'd rather not send an email, record a video, right? Sometimes I'd rather not. But then I actually think about, okay, there's a person on the other side of this screen who's a real person. There's a person on the other side of the email who's a real person. They have a real problem that I can solve. So it's literally my job to let people know that this is the problem I can solve, right? And for you, whatever you offer, you have a solution to their problem. So I always think not marketing is selfish. So instead of feeling like selling is sleazy, instead of feeling like, oh, they're annoyed, they're bothered by seeing me all the time, you really want to start shifting into selling is actually a service. Marketing is a way for people to get help. And like, I'm the best one to help them, right? Because they're either A, not going to get the help at all, or they're going to get help from somebody else. And I always think like this, I really like, I'm a Pisces, so I really go like very, um, like airy fairy when I think of it this way, but I find it to be very valuable for me. I always think that whatever your gift is, right, that your service-based business is, you were uniquely like created the way you speak, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you dress, like your past history, like everything about you, where you live, that was specifically created to help another person specifically. So I'm like, two snowflakes are coming together, like making a perfect match. And so I'm always like, wait a minute. Some people might never get help because like they needed to hear it from me exactly. Like specifically through me, they needed to hear it. And so this is very specific. Like I work a lot with a lot of healers and intuitives. And I know that like usually your energy is very heart centered. You're very soft, like a lot of times introverted. And you may not want to be like loud about what it is that you offer. And also, what I consider is like there's so many toxic things in the world that are loud, right? They're like, oh, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol. Like those, why do those things get to be loud? Whenever the healing things, like we need to match the level of loudness and proudness of all the toxic things that are out there. So, me as a life and business coach, I think about all the ways like my clients are buffering, all the ways that they're spending money on other things that aren't helping them to make money in their business. And I'm saying, like, hey, maybe stop buying those $97 programs. Like, maybe redirect your money into something that's going to help make you money. And one of the things I do as a coach is I really talk to my clients, especially my one on one clients. We have a lot of time together. I'm always helping them decide, like, where are you going to invest your money? And before you invest it, make sure you're going to get an ROI, a return on your investment, right? Because the way times are, we want to make sure that we're being really strategic with where we're investing our money. We're not just throwing it around willy nilly. But for you, whatever you have to offer, like your marketing, that is a skill that you can master. And it comes from your mindset, but it also comes from like your ability to just keep practicing it and doing it over and over again. So these are the three things I wanted to share with you. I wanted to give you some value. I wanted to teach you a bit today about what the work I've been doing with my students. And I want to invite you into something deeper. So tomorrow I'll actually be doing a full webinar. If you'd like to come to it, you can, but I'll give you like a mini invitation here because what I have coming open in the next 2 weeks, if you're watching this in real time, today is April 6th. I am opening another round of Abundant Business Mastermind. So, who is this for? This is for service based business owners. You can be an in person provider, right? So, if you're like a massage therapist, a Reiki provider, sound healer, if you do like any type of beauty, aesthetics, anything that's service based, you can also be virtual. So, maybe you're a coach, a health coach, fitness coach, money coach. You might even be a real estate agent. I've worked with real estate agents. Like it's very similar when it's like you have a service, you're selling yourself, right? So with the Abundant Business Mastermind, we work together for 4 months. I curate each room. So currently, right now, I'm working with 5 people in each container, which means you get really high level coaching. So 5 people in each container, usually from similar industries, usually from like when I curate the containers, I make sure the people in the group will really mesh together really well. And in the mastermind, we're fundamentally working on these things. We're working on sales, right? If you have to have sales conversations, we're teaching you how to do that. Working on marketing, right? So you're either going to market online or in person. We're working on mindset, right? Anything that's in the way of you showing up for your sales and marketing. We are also working on anything that has to do with you being a CEO. So a lot of us, this is our first business. Like we're literally having to learn on the fly. And usually that comes with some form of like not knowing how to do processes or systems with money. So I'm really having my clients track their money, make sure they know where it's going, because that is an important part of business. So those are the things we work on. We work sales, marketing, mindset, your money management skills, and your ability to get out there and make more money. For the level of business where you're at, most of my clients, their goal, like their revenue goal, they're either looking to get to their first $2,000 months or they're moving into, hey, I want to have $5,000 months. So if you're at that level of business, this would be a good fit for you. And if you're like, hey, I'm interested, like I want to know more, all you need to do is comment the word waitlist below because I'll get those details out to you. I'll make sure you get those. You comment the word waitlist below. That's for the Abundant Business Mastermind. And that only opens, I open it every so often until I fill it, then I deliver it, then I open it again. So if you're seeing this and it feels like you're like, oh, I want to know more about that, comment waitlist just so that you have the info. And then whether you join this round or not, I can put you on the waitlist and you can continue to get the information. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if you're watching this later and you're like, oh, I missed out on the enrollment or, whatever, I can't go in the group right now, I also have one-on-one coaching available. So one-on-one coaching is called Magnetic Authority. This is where I work with you on your magnetism. So a lot of my clients are either frustrated that their marketing is not working, right? And anytime you're frustrating, that's not a magnetic energy to be in, or they're not being visible enough because they're kind of like shy or they're having imposter syndrome, fear of being seen. So during that program, which is a 3-month one-on-one coaching, we actually get your offer. If you don't have an offer, we dial in your offer. We build up your confidence to sell. We get you out there in the world talking about what your offer is online and in person. And then we really have you step into your magnetism, your authority, your unique personality with your human design. So those are the two offers I have for you now. I want to make sure you have that available. If you're interested in the mastermind, comment waitlist. If you're interested in one-on-one, just head right over to my message in Instagram and send me a message. I'm always my direct messages are always open. I talk to people all the time. Like if you have anything you want to chat about in your personal or in your business, feel free to let me know. But right now, this month I'm really focusing on business. Most of my clients are business clients. However, we coach on everything because everything in your life touches everything in your life. So that is all I have for this episode. Next week, I will be dropping another episode for you too. And if you're not already, follow me over on Instagram, send me a message over there and let me know how this landed for you because we're having a fun time marketing. And if your marketing is not fun, it's time to shake it up. It's time to get back in alignment because when you're in alignment, you get more energy. When you're not in alignment, it feels really draining and really hard to show up in your business. All right. So let's get you back into alignment. Let's get you back into your energy. Let's get you signing some clients. All right. I'll see you later. Bye for now.